be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon them. That plague and punishment ultimately is the nuclear missiles. But before that, it's talking about like the H7N1 or whatever those new plagues are. They got this new meningitis virus going around killing people, you know. So it's got all different type of things that are being manipulated and engineered by these doctors and Frankensteins that work for the Rothschild. But it's the Most High putting it in their mind to do these things and bringing back those old plagues and new plagues that the Most High is creating on the earth. It says it's also is for punishment. They that till the ground shall mourn, for the seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So there's going to be revolutions out here. People are going to come up against the government. You're going to have Jake fighting against Esau. You're going to have the militia fighting against the military, you know, and the police force, the DEA, the FEMA, and all that, all them different organizations that work for the government. You know, they're gonna. There's gonna be an all-out war out through the streets of America. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." In other words, it's gonna be anarchy out here. You know, there's not going to be this so-called law and order as you have now, which really is all BS, you know, because they're pretty much ripping the people off. So people are going to get tired of it. And the Most High is stirring these people up, and they're going to go to war. They're going to go to blows with the government. They're not going to hold back anymore because people are getting tired.
Now, and that's on Alex Jones and even on George for G for T. They're with this new gun legislation. They're going after guys that was in the military. They're targeting these military guys because now they're saying that's why they set that whole thing up of these guys that are shooting up theaters and schools, that they're crazy, because that's the only way they're going to get these former military guys that fought in these wars, because they have to go to the VA, and so they're checking their heads to see if their brains are working properly. So they give them a false diagnosis that they'll ask them, well, do you get depressed? Do you get upset? And, well, everybody's going to say yes. So he'll say, yeah, I got upset yesterday because my wife didn't cook the food right. So they'll put that down. Yes, he's depressed, and, you know, he's combative. You know, he's prone to snapping, you know. So then they'll make the diagnosis, send it to a judge, and they say, well, look, we got to take your guns now, revoke your guns. So now you're unstable. So now what they're doing is they're going to these different, because they got all the military guys on the list. So they're sending the police over and they're saying, well, look, you know, we got to take you in because your head's messed up. You know, doctor diagnose you, your brain is not working right. And then we got to, where's your gun at? Then if you give them a hard time about the gun, they're going to ransack your house and they're going to take your gun. And then they're going to take you. So that's what a lot of these interviews with Alex Jones, because he has a lot of these military veterans calling in and saying, well, look, they came in my house and they did this because I yelled at my daughter. So the cops came, and then when they took me, they took the guns, and they did this and they did that. And then once they take the guns, you ain't getting the guns back. So, another thing, the DHS, which is Department of Homeland Security, it's been in the news for maybe the last 3 weeks, but that's been out more than 6 months ago, that they're stockpiling these hollow point bullets.
Aaron Dykes.
Tonight, the arms buildup intensifies as the Department of Homeland Security solicits another huge ammo buy. And this time, Forbes magazine is calling for a national conversation about the DHS buildup that has been dismissed by the mainstream media as a conspiracy theory.
Meanwhile, DHS purchasing even more firearms as the arms buildup intensifies. The details of the $4.5 million contract with Heckler & Koch was only amplified by a very similar, almost identical contract with Sig Sauer. All this prompting Forbes magazine to write that we need a national conversation about the buildup of weapons of ammunition, now over 2 billion rounds, by Homeland Security and other executive departments. Ralph Binko writes in part, at the height of the Iraq War, the Army was expending less than 6 million rounds a month. 1.6 billion rounds, therefore, would be enough to sustain a hot war for 20-plus years in America. Why, indeed, should the federal government be deploying armored personnel carriers and stockpiling enough ammo for a 20-year war in the homeland? Because it's wrong in every way, writes Binko, and hopefully that and other media attention will be enough to dispel the false rumors that there's nothing to it and it's just a bulk purchase to save the taxpayers' money, and hopefully it will get them to back off of their crazy plan to take on Americans and basically provoke a civil war ahead of economic collapse.
The DHS, the Social Security Administration, I guess FEMA. Because why would they stockpile these weapons and this ammunition? Because there's going to be a financial breakdown in the society. You're going to go to get your monthly check, the check ain't going to be there. They're taking people's pension funds. They're cutting it. What they're doing, they're cutting it in half or cutting it by 25%. So when people see that they're not making money and prices are going up all around them, they're going to lose it. Social Security. You know, this Obamacare bill is not there. Everybody's seeing it. It's not going to work. It was supposed to be called the Affordable Care Act, and they're finding out it's going to cost double of what you were paying before. So how in the hell is it affordable? See, everybody's slowly waking up to this administration. And some of you bird-brained, dumbass niggas, you still stand by this guy's side. Yep. Anybody? Go ahead.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, and that's what you're supposed to do, measure the time. What does that mean? That means you look at what's going on and you measure the time. In other words, we're in the time of the end. How do we know that? Because of the prophecies. That's how you measure the times, by the prophecies. Then shalt thou, you got something?
This is the book of Luke chapter 21, verse 29. And he spake to them a parable. Behold, the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, you see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise ye, when you see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of the Most High is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Like you got certain homos out there that planning on doing things the next 5 years, 10 years, planning this trip, that trip, what you're going to be doing with your job and stuff. You're not looking for the Lord to come back. So that, like the Lord said, that day is going to come to you like a trap. Because as this government start breaking down and the prophecies start rolling, you're going to lose it. The scriptures say that some men, their heart is going to fail them. You're going to have like heart attacks, man, and drop dead when these things happen. All right?
Yeah, and if I just may say this too, and then the thing about it is we're out there telling them. Yep. We're out there telling them that these things are going to happen, but it's still going to come upon them as a thief. It's still going to come upon them as a surprise. Because they hear what we're saying, but they really not listening. You know, it's just going in one ear and out the other. You know, so it's like they really, even to this day, they're still in darkness. You know, they're still in darkness, even though we're out there shining the light and telling them what's going to go down. They're still in darkness.
Yeah, these jakes out there think it's a joke. They go on YouTube and they make jokes on the comment board and all that. And then these other camps, these other bootleg camps out there, they're talking their shit. And they're coming up against GMS, which we are the men of the Lord. But there's going to be a time, and I've been saying this for the longest, well, they think it's going to go on. They can talk this shit, But there's going to come a time where the Most High is going to act. And then you're going to try to get serious. But you know what? The angels said, you've been bullshitting, man. Take him out. Or take that nigga out. There's going to be a time where you niggas are going, hey, man, I don't talk to nobody, man. And they notice that, you know, when I come around my girl's house, I'm like, how you doing? I keep it moving, man. I ain't got nothing to say to y'all, you know? Even on my job, I don't say too much, man. I do what I got to do when I go. Before I used to speak to them people, I don't speak to them. And then when I do speak to them, I'm talking about how bad America is, man. So there's going to come a time where you crackers, all that shit that you're talking, your mouths are going to be stopped. You black ass women and all you women got big mouth because you